welcome to another Start Collecting series. Now, unsurprisingly, Beastclaw Raiders are going to be featuring. Take it away, Russ. Not a surprise to anyone.
No. So again, if you haven't seen the other videos, then basically it's just how to build a competitive army using Start Collecting sets for as cheap as you can get it. It's Christmas time. You know, maybe you want a new army to play match play events. This is about match play, and you might decide that actually, what do I buy? And Start Collecting sets are a really good way of doing this. Now, I will put a alternate caveat in here to make this even better, but it will revolve in using like eBay or Facebook selling groups to make some of your money back. But anyway, so Start Collecting Beastclaw Raiders is you get a Stonehorn kit, which I think on its own is almost the cost of the set. I think it's like £48 plus. Yeah. And then you also get 4 Mournfang. So the good thing about the Stonehorn kit is it makes your Huskard on Thundertusk and Stonehorn, and also makes your Frostlord on Thundertusk and Stonehorn, and it also makes your Beast Riders on Thundertusk or Stonehorn. So you get 6 units, War Scrolls, out of one kit. So basically this is really efficient. So the list I'll show you is very flexible. You can do what you want with it, but I've done the sort of the basic, if you just build what's in the box and just put it on the table, you literally can do this. So this army is just free of these Start Collecting sets. So it's, and I haven't even included.
Thanks.
I haven't even included the more pot thing, because it literally does nothing for the army. So I played a tournament with Beastclaw, did pretty well, and I didn't even bother unwrapping my more pot that I bought because I thought, well, it's actually not going to do much for me. So I don't include that in the cost of the army because I don't think it's relevant. If you want to paint one, feel free. You can buy one as well. Yeah. That's fine.
MSU Ogres is good for because it heals you, but otherwise these it's not too much, right?
No, exactly. So because you're basically in their army on the first turn, nowhere near it, and none of your heroes are going to be stood next to a pot doing anything. So
sounds pretty technical, Russ.
This is
late game army. Yeah,
this is not a technical.
No, this is a brilliant army.
It is actually. There is actually a bit to it. I do think this is like what I call the giant light army. So if you like the idea of how the giants play, so Sons of Behemat, this army plays very similar, but is obviously a lot more affordable. So effectively, the list is a Frostlord on Stonehorn ×2, a Huskard on Stonehorn, and 3 units of 4 Mournfang. And that comes at 1960. Now, obviously, the cost-wise, you're saving £22.50 per set. So you save £67.50, and the whole army costs you £165. So dirt cheap.
At GW.
At GW retail, right? So obviously, if you buy it from Element or another independent, if you're in Australia or US, then you can basically get your guys at another 15-20% off, depending where you get it. Right. So effectively, this is almost £150 an army. This is ridiculous value.
This is as good as it gets, and it's a brilliant, fun army as well, right?
Yeah, and it's competitive as well. I would say it's competitive. So the whole point, what you could do is you could actually go to 4 sets, and you have less Mournfang, and you build a Stonehorn Beast Riders, and that opens up some of the formations in the book, which is one of the lists I took, was basically 4 Stonehorn, so 1 Beast Rider, double Frostlord, a Huskard, and then some Mournfang, and that's, I think it's 2 units of 2. So you end up with an excess of Mournfang. Now, obviously, you would have 16 Mournfang. You could keep them and then run a list so it's more Mournfang and less big guys. You can magnetize the heads as well of the beasts, so you can actually have the option to swap the heads out, because the kits come with a full head, and it's literally just a swap. So I've got
it's a nice joining point as well. It's like 2 V's, 1 magnet in the middle, and it'll pretty much hold itself solidly.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't use magnets, I use blue tack. So all I do is blob a blue tack, squidge the head on, because I couldn't be bothered to magnetize it. So if you're worried about magnetizing, don't need to worry about it. The only thing that you got to worry about is the reins. So where they've got their hold in the reins, I just don't put them on. which I know might sound a bit silly, but I did get an army nomination without them on as well because they didn't get noticed. So people don't generally notice these things.
Yeah.
If you wanted to have chains, you could actually use chain and just loop it over a ring that you've put in, and then you could just unhook the head, put the new head on, and then hook them back on because they're slightly different reign setup. So I know. So you need to be a little bit savvy with that, but effectively you can even magnetize the throne between the. I think the throne is on the back of the model, like the whole back piece. I think that there is a way you could do that as well. Be a little bit more technical. You can magnetize them
every way. Yeah, you can magnetize the back and the top. You can have it for one rider or two riders, and it's infinitely flexible if you want to get more value out of these sets.
Because the back piece join is actually like covered with straps. So because of the straps, it kind of hides the gaps. I mean, I didn't bother doing that. I just bought 4. But if you had one with a double seat and 2 with a single seat, and then you can have like the Huskard or the Frostlord's got the spear. So I had 2 spears and 1 with a vulture, and then I just had the heads interchangeable.
Yep. It really appeals to me, like, because I've never owned a destruction army ever. I've never painted any models, and like when you look at it and go, it's £160 for retail
models.
15 models, and it's just like that is a Christmas project between Christmas and New Year. You have you get it ready, you base it all, you paint it all, and you've got a new army then that you've got sat on the shelf to go and play. I'd probably go down the Russ and get the extra box just so that I've got the option to run less models and the and then sell some of the Mournfang. It just really appeals to me. Like maybe this is the one that tips me over the edge and gets me to have a destruction army, because it'd be nice to just have those and paint them. They look like they'd be like prime for dry brush environment.
They are. Yeah, I mean the nice thing about it is from Element, I think they're £46. The start collectings.
Yeah. Oh wow. So yeah, it makes it so affordable. Like maybe that'll be when I give myself, once I finish this last commission project and I give myself some time off between Christmas and New Year, maybe that's what I look at.
It's effectively how I did my Beastclaw army, and it was just I wanted to do an army that was going to be quick to table, because the beasts are all literally fur with some straps using contrast and dry brushing. You can airbrush and dry brush the bodies, use contrast for the straps and stuff, and then put some nice little washes in. Snow basing always looks good. And then the ogres are just fun models to paint anyway. And if you go for more big things, you've got to paint 4 big monsters and 4 Mournfang or 6 Mournfang, and so you're painting effectively like what. 5 plus 11 ogres and 4 monsters and 6 cats, and your army's done. What's nice about it is adding to it, if you wanted to, like you can later on go back to it and start adding more ogre stuff in, or put some allies in.
Shaman allied on foot or something like that. A hunter skull formation. There's loads of little, and you spent so little on this. I don't think you'd ever feel bad about adding to that army because you got it for basically what feels like a steal.
I think this is one of the best armies you could do out of start collecting.
For sure.
I'm really tempted to sort of like just get myself a new army, like, because all I've got is my Luminous stuff that I'm working on and my Stormcast, and it'd be nice to have a new army. Not that we're playing anywhere, but it'd be just to be able to go, right, here's a nice army to get and have ready for the table. So maybe you'll see me delve into it between Christmas and New Year. We'll see.
Ally a giant in, Les. Your army could be tiny.
Yeah.
Double the cost of the army by putting a giant on. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
That's amazing.
But I mean, all jokes aside, putting in a Mega Gargant would be a nice addition, and you get the choice of which one to put in as well because you're destruction. So you can magnetize the head.
To hit is there's some stacking of minus to hit abilities from one of them in particular, which I think could have some real utility in the army.
Yeah, I think the only issue is the objective capture rule you'll lose. So I personally think another Frostlord and Stonehorn's better.
It is, yeah.
So it's more for fun.
They're quite punchy as well, aren't they? So
yeah, the Stonehorns do way more damage than a giant does.
It's worth, just in case people weren't aware as well, the reason this can compete, we're talking about putting like 8 models, 12 models on the table, is these models count as more for objective purposes. That is part of the Ogre book, the Ogle book. Now, the rules that the Giants have kind of like, they've taken to an extreme degree, the models in the Ogre book have. So I believe the Mournfang count as 2 or 3.
I think they're 2 each, and I think the big things are 10.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, you can. I think it's the Boulder Head allows you to have a mount trait on each beast as well, and if you take a formation, it's like it's pretty good. I think I run Boulder Head, and I run one of the formations which was Stonehorn Beast Riders, Mournfang, and then the Frostlord sit outside the formation, so it's like a free drop. I think it's a Huskard stone. I think it's a Huskard. 2 units of Mournfang, 1 Stonehorn Beast Riders, which are Battleline. So you've basically got those 4 units in the formation. Then you've got 2 Frostlords outside of it. So it's a free drop army, and you get lots of buffs to your monsters, and you get artifacts. And it's really good. It's a really solid list. So
it's really solid. Extremely fun to play. Very good for first army. All the command abilities are used in the relevant phase. There's not too much kind of bookkeeping or upkeep. And a little list with my guys, guy with like blue pants rider, he rerolls horn hits. This guy rerolls wound hits on the charge. This guy has an ability that hurts people with armor. Once you've got like 3 or 4 of those down, they're all done in the relevant phase, which is
I would say
phase or the charge phase.
The army is a little bit more complicated to play because of all those little abilities happen at different times. They do happen logically, but you've got to remember that this is the one with, he's got the black clatterhorn whatever thing that gives him +1 to wound. This guy gets a reroll to hit. This one will get this. So it's just remembering all those rules, plus the hungry and you're hungry or you're eating and all of these things. So there's a lot of special rules layered over the top for a very simple looking army. But so I definitely would write a cheat sheet. I did when I played with it, because I went to a tournament never playing with it. So I just went in, new book, decided I think 4 days before the event I was taking it, painted a Stonehorn in 2 days, made a little cheat sheet, and then rocked up. I think I only lost 1 game, so pretty decent force. And I think the only thing I lost to was an OBR cavalry army, which I played slightly wrong, but it's like, it's a decent list. It's competitive and it's cheap. So if you like big hairy Yeti cows with ogres sat on them, this is the army for you.
Into Village, let's go.
So you got
super tempted.
Got some Christmas money. I recommend this army if you wanted to get into your ogres. So
put it in my element basket.
Exactly. Get in there. Click through that affiliate. So thanks for watching, and let us know below what you think. If you've got any comments, if you want any questions about artifacts or setups or anything like that, you can put it below. I'll answer it. I've played with it myself, so I know a little bit about it. So if you want to ask those sort of questions, I'll answer below, or join our Discord. Ask in the destruction section. There's plenty of players out there that can help you out. But
all right.
Thanks.
See you in the next Start Collecting, guys. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.